10 minutes into the start of my trek, and it's hailing pretty hard. So, I guess I'm not really going anywhere for a bit. Hailstorm started less than 30 minutes on the trail, so put on the rain suit, hid under some trees for a while, and then it changed from hail to rain, so hiked for another mile or two with the kid on, which was hot and sweaty, but now that the rain has subsided, it's actually quite nice. Well, after the storm, look, the hail's melted off. First view of the actual range. Got first night's camp set up. I'm only at about mile 6 into the trail, partially because of the hailstorm today, but mostly because I biked 142 miles yesterday. So I didn't get moving until a lot later than I should have. But it's ridiculously quiet here. The stars are out, and I'm kind of just chilling with a little peanut butter whiskey. Night 1 camp here in the forest, which is really nice because it's super quiet, calm, no wind at all. My pack is probably much heavier than it needs to be, but I brought all the niceties like camp chair. I got my little jet boil set up, and let's check on my gravity fed water purification system here. Getting there. Make a little dinner after that's ready to go. All right, it's day 2. I'm still at camp. It's about 10 a.m. Rained quite a bit this morning, so I slept in. But starting to look blue skies behind me. So we're gonna break down camp, pack this stuff up, and hike about 10 miles to the Titcomb Lakes. Just finished lunch at Seneca Lake, which is a pretty sizable lake back in here. The weather was sunny for a couple hours and then got lightly clouded over, and now things are looking not so great to the east, to the west. But it's been a nice spot to chill out, refuel, rehydrate. 4 miles in so far, another 6 to get up to the Titcomb Basin. I'm briefly on the Continental Divide Trail here. There's about a what looks like quarter-mile section where it overlaps. So I just went over some small saddle, heading back down into a valley, and eventually somewhere up towards that saddle is my target, and that's where I'm heading tomorrow. Just started to drop down this pass with some huge granite walls on both sides. And check out this rad lake. Island Lake. I hope there's an island in it. Came earlier from pass up over there. Where was the CDT intersection? Now leaving Island Lake to head up towards the Titcomb Basin. I think whatever movie I make out of this is just going to be endless clips along the trail. It's kind of hard to beat. Made it to the upper Titcomb Basin. There's two lakes here. The lower one is somewhere behind me, connected by a little river. And then this is the upper lake with a fantastic background. And then over there is where I'm heading tomorrow morning, over that pass. So it's hard to tell, but this lake is the better part of a mile long. And I'm gonna head to the far end, somewhere back there. Set up camp, sleep for a bit. At the far end of the upper lake, and I'm pretty sure I'll be racing a storm to get camp set up. Here we go. It's always so fun to get the rain kit on. I think it's probably about the 6th time I've worn it on this trip. I'm where I want to be, far into the lake. Just gonna find a flat spot to camp. Well, it went south real quick. As you can tell, it's quite unpleasant out in the open and coming down pretty hard. But fortunately, my bag and I have some protection under this here boulder. Well, that was fun. I just spent an hour crouched underneath this boulder while it was downpouring and fucking 40-mile-an-hour wind. I was probably 10 minutes from a retreat decision because I got under this boulder at 6:26 and it's now 7:25. Sun sets here shortly and got less than an hour of daylight. So anyways, I'm glad it cleared up. And look at that. It's a butte over there. But it got really cold. So I'm gonna set up a tent and get into it. The new storm brings fresh water. Hold on. It's still raining, or it's raining again. My socks are wet, my pants are wet, my boots are wet, my puffy's dry, so that's good. Things that keep me warm are dry. I have plenty of layers. Not worried about that, but I'm not really feeling stoked on waking up at 3 a.m. and trying to summit a mountain. So it's 8:30 p.m. I'm going to eat dinner, contemplate tomorrow's plan, which could be pack up and go home, or it could be wake up and try to summit. TBD. It's really nice out. As you can hear, it is still raining. So it had subsided while it was still light out, fortunately, so that I could set up a tent dry. So the interior of the tent's reasonably dry, but it has started back up again, and I've now decided that instead of going for the summit tomorrow, I'm gonna head on down. Mostly just thinking about the timeline. I would have to get up at 3 a.m., summit, come back here, break down camp, and then it's 17 miles from here back to the Jeep, so I'd have to hike 5 to 8 miles tomorrow night in order to then have, let's say, 10 miles of hiking on Thursday, and then back to Denver on Friday. So given that the things that I'd like to be comfortable in, like my pants, hat, my puffy hood, just kind of soaked, etc., are pretty wet, I am just going to have myself some gumbo and enjoy this here little whiskey and see if I can sleep. Hopefully sleep in a bit and then descend tomorrow. I haven't checked a weather update because I don't know that it matters. I'll go down regardless. I could request an update on my satellite messenger, my Garmin, but 2 days ago it said that tomorrow's supposed to be sunny all day, so hopefully that's the case and I wake up to blue skies. So in the meantime, I'm just going to chill out here in the tent. Cheers. Morning. It's blue skies. But I didn't sleep a whole lot last night. It rained and was very windy through at least 2 a.m. So I turned off my early alarms, and it's about 8 a.m. now. But it's still quite windy. So looking at the speed that these clouds are moving past these peaks up here that are all 12,000, 13,000 feet, pretty indicative that today wouldn't have been a reasonable summit day regardless. So hooray, or whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna pick up this little camp here, say goodbye to my savior boulder that I hung out with for a solid hour yesterday, and head back down into that valley. But one last look up at the top of the Titcomb Basin. Back at Island Lake, about 5 miles into today's hike on my way out. Nice glacial runoff lake. I think it's about 50 degrees, maybe just under. Pretty refreshing. Nice way to stop. Middle of the hike. All right, only 12 more miles back to the Jeep. Check that out. Making progress. A little over 12 miles on the day. Came from somewhere back there. Just cross this nice green basin and only have 5 or 6 to get back to the Jeep.